Hello, and welcome to the Orthodontic Products Podcast. I'm your host, Allison Werner. Today, we're going to talk about the 7 reasons your staff meetings will fail and what you can do about it. And here to break it down is Dr. Roger Levin at the Practice Management Consulting for Levin Group. Dr. Levin, great to see you again.
It's great to be with you, Allison. I love these interviews and podcasts, and I hope we're helping a lot of people.
Yeah. And so this one's going to be kind of tight because we're going to really directly get into those 7 reasons your staff meetings are failing. So you and I have talked about this before, and we've talked about how staff meetings are not at their optimal level. So can you explain why you think that?
I can. You know, as dentists, we learn basic business principles somewhere, somehow. And one is you should have staff meetings. And another, not our topic today, is you should have performance reviews. And I have a section in one of my orthodontic management webinars called Why Your Staff Hates Staff Meetings and Performance Reviews. So, but you know, we think that just because we call a meeting, everybody is engaged and interested and wants to be there. But the real definition of most staff meetings is to show up late, do a lot of complaining, eat the pizza, and leave early. So we want to now turn these staff meetings into powerhouses because meetings are critically important for every business, including the orthodontic practice. And when I see the best practices in the country, and we get a bird's eye view to some of them in consulting, we find that they do have excellent meetings that are highly focused and very productive. So I have 7 reasons why your staff meetings will fail. Now, I'm never negative, so part 2 is, and what to do about it.
Right.
And I'm going to walk everybody through that. If you do these 7 things, the meetings you have now will be better and will become great. So here we go. And as Allison, as you said, I'll run through all 7, and then you can ask me questions.
Yeah.
Number 1, your meetings are not well thought out. Take the time to create an agenda. Put your agenda in priority order. What is the most important thing we have to talk about? Make that number 1, because if that's the last agenda item, you might run out of time or have limited time at the end and you rush through it. So set an agenda and be relevant. Make sure the topics covered are relevant. We're not talking about people's vacations. We're not talking about what we saw in the news last night. We're following an agenda. We're staying focused, and we're getting people involved. Number 2, your staff meetings aren't positive. This is your chance as a leader to bring a positive orientation to the entire team. This is your one time a month that you get together with everyone on the team, and they get to see how positive you are as a leader. Now, I believe positive is contagious. I believe the team gradually begins to look like the orthodontist. I joke about that in seminars, and all the team members say, I don't want to look like my orthodontist. And maybe with good reason, because they look better. But the point is, they're going to emulate the characteristics and traits that they see. So as a leader, you want to kill negative. If people go off on negative, turn every negative positive. One of my statements in a communications seminar is anything negative can be said positive. Don't talk about what was wrong. Talk about how it can be right. Don't talk about the bad patient experience. Talk about improving customer service. Our webinar, our podcast that we did recently. So if it's not positive, you're just going to bring people down. Staff meetings are not complaint, angry, corrective sessions. There's another time to do that. Number 3, the staff meeting is not taken seriously. If the orthodontist shows up late, that's your first indication that you're not serious about this meeting. And doctors think that because we're doctors, and I am one of them, that, well, if we've got a patient, that's an excuse to show up late. Your staff meeting is just as important as a new patient consult, as meeting a referring doctor for lunch or a drink, as showing up in the office in the morning. Being late is bad leadership. And it also, and if the meeting is scattered, you show up late, you're looking for your agenda, you're not sure what you're talking about, you look disorganized, those are not the cues you want to give your team. They just tune out at that point. Remember, these are the reasons you will fail in staff meetings, and how can we optimize them? Number 4, no energy. Your team needs energy. I believe that people need air, water, food, and energy. And without it, they suffer. You bring them the energy. Take a minute before the meeting, get yourself energized and excited. Thank everybody for their work, for being great, for their attitudes, for following the protocols and principles of the practice. But when there's no energy, it doesn't matter how good the topic is, it's boring. And nobody, we live in a world today where it's pretty hard not to be boring. People live by social media and cell phone. And you know the social media joke, when you're reading Facebook or Instagram, you're the only one not having a good life. Everybody else is having a perfect life. You're having your life is just normal. People, if there's no energy, they're bored, they tune out, and they're not engaged. Big word for meetings, engagement. Is your team engaged in the meeting? Number 5, they're not fun. Why not have fun? Fun is great. How do you have fun? You create surprises. One person has a Post-it note under their chair and they win $100 at the meeting. You bring in surprise lunches for them. You give out gift certificates. You tell them about a day you're going to shut down and give everybody off or leave early. Have fun in the meeting. Start the meeting with a joke or a trivia question. I know it sounds silly, but it changes the entire dynamic of that meeting. At Levin Group, we have an executive call every morning from 10 to 11 o'clock. We start it with everybody first going around, taking 1 minute and telling something good that's happened in their life recently. It can be big or small, doesn't matter. And then we have a trivia question, and people love it. And if you forget the trivia question, people are like, well, what's the trivia question? Now, these are executives that love this stuff. Your team will love this stuff. Number 6, you don't make decisions. The purpose of a meeting is to make decisions. If every agenda item ends with, I'll look into that, I'll think about that, I'll get back to you, nobody cares about your meeting anymore. It's a waste of time. You don't have to make every decision, but most of the time you should be making a decision in that meeting about what you're recommending, what you're going to do, what the training will be, how we improve customer service, what a goal would be. Make decisions in the meeting. And finally, number 7, you never improve your meetings. You do the same thing over and over and over. I don't care how good your meeting is. Repetition gets boring. It's irrelevant. People like just show up and here we go again, pull the string, and out comes the words. So ask your team, how do we make these meetings better? What do you want to do in these meetings? Do you want training? Do you want to talk about what's going on in the dental industry? We recommend to our clients, in addition to focusing on your practice, come in with 2 or 3 things that's happening in the orthodontic industry. What's changing? What's the new technology? Not that you have to buy it. For example, you and I did a podcast on remote monitoring.
Right.
Well, even if you don't have it, it's a good thing to educate the staff about. It's kind of fun. Make your meetings broader, help people grow and develop, and then leave time at the end for questions and answers. Teach your team. Bring your questions to the meeting, because this is where we should talk about it, and everybody should hear your question, and everybody should hear your answers. So those are 7 reasons your staff meetings will fail and what to do about it.
All right. So I have my first question is, what's your advice on frequency of meetings and maybe length of meetings, if you have any guidelines?
You know, you can go in a lot of directions, but as usual, I do have a recommendation, which would be 2 hours once a month.
Okay.
And 1 hour might be your lunchtime, and 1 hour might be production time. If you take the last hour of the morning in orthodontics, that's often a slower period of time for many practices. Now, is it worth taking an hour a month or 12 hours a year out of, patient time, production time? And my answer is absolutely, because these meetings should make you so much more efficient that the time you lose to meet is minimal compared to the efficiency gains that you achieve to make the practice more efficient and effective. As you know, Allison, we have both referral marketing and management consulting. And management consulting is all about systems. And it's in these meetings where you talk about a step in a system that needs to be changed or eliminated or improved. So if you only have an hour and you're eating lunch, it's really not always enough time to cover all the topics you want to cover. So, out of respect to your team, out of respect to improving the practice, to optimize the meeting, I like 2 hours with lunch, middle of the day, once a month, start on time, end on, and don't go 2 hours actually, end at least 10 minutes early so the team can be ready for their afternoon patients.
Okay. And then do you have any tips on how to delegate sections for other team members to speak on, or should the doctor really be taking the lead here?
No, that's a great question. I should have covered that, and that's really great. When you set the agenda, let's say you have 8 agenda items for that meeting. You put the name of the person who's going to lead that agenda item next to the item. So 4 of the items might be led by an orthodontist, 2 by the office manager. That's 6 in our hypothetical 8. 1 might be by an assistant, 1 might be by the scheduling coordinator or the treatment coordinator, or even the professional relations coordinator, who is the PRC, who is responsible for referral marketing. But, it's all about systems. And if you don't take the time to work on them and improve them, you won't realize that you're becoming more and more inefficient and you're falling behind. And if you're busy, you always have a sense, oh, I'm so busy, I must be successful, but you're not as successful by far as you could be.
Well, Dr. Levin, thank you so much for this. I think this was really helpful, and it's a great, quick and dirty on, how you and action items you can take right now. So thank you so much for this.
Yep. My pleasure. Thank you again, Allison.
Thanks.
As always, thank you for joining us. Be sure to subscribe to the Orthodontic Products Podcast to keep up with the latest episodes, and be sure to check out orthodonticproductsonline.com to keep up with the latest industry news. Until next time, take care.